First up tonight, did you know back in the 1940s the shores of Lake Blaisdell in Sutton served as a hangout for showbiz folks from the vaudeville circuit?
Jackie Gleason, Red Skelton, George Burns, Lou Costello, those are just a few of the celebrities to visit New Hampshire in those days.
Yeah, one couple, Don and Callie Lowe, were part of that traveling showbiz tradition, but they eventually settled in Sutton and raised a family.
Today, the Lowe's 4 daughters carry out that entertainment tradition, and Audrey Cox sat down with them and learned about their musical legacy.
Long before television, there was vaudeville, commonly referred to as the heart of American show business. Don Lowe of Sutton was born into show business. He was a teenager growing up in New York when he joined his father's vaudeville act, Monroe and Grant, traveling and performing in theaters across the country.
There's my dad and his father practicing the act in the backyard. It's slapstick, it's comedy, it's off the cuff, it's make people laugh, and that's what they did. But these were incredibly talented individuals. Not only were Dad's family fine acrobats, but they learned how to juggle, they were magicians, tap dancing, all kinds of slapstick stuff.
Far away from the vaudeville circuit was rural New Hampshire. The small town of Sutton became a vacation spot for some of the biggest names in showbiz. In 1941, Tom Lowe Sr. bought a farmhouse in Sutton to escape the heat of summer in New York City. Take a look at this picture taken in the early 40s. George Burns, Lou Costello, and Blackstone the Magician visiting the Lowes in Sutton back in 1941.
There's a spot you really got to see, my friend. Take a trip, an ocean ship around the bend.
3 generations later, the Lowe family is still performing. These 4 sisters, whose parents and grandparents performed vaudeville and circus acts more than 60 years ago, grew up in Sutton and had a childhood that can only be described as diverse and entertaining.
Our place was called Lowe's A-Go-Go. Our father now that I look back, he was very smart. He tried to keep us close to home, didn't want the girls getting into trouble outside, but people came to our house, and it was a little like a nightclub. Our friends would come, and we would sing. We would just have hootenannies at our houses.
Allah be praised, Allah be praised. Nothing could be finer than to be an Asia Minor.
We had a garage. We would, hang a curtain and just be creative and sing and get, our neighborhood girlfriends and little boyfriends involved and just
Charge admission.
Dress up and serve lemonade and cookies, and it was just so magical.
Don't you wish that you were Turkish wrong or right?
We all performed in these plays that my Uncle Tom would write, and he wrote the music, designed the sets, made the costumes, and they threw us all in these plays, these musical comedies, and they were wonderful. That was also part of our childhood, is performing in these summer plays, and it was magical.
Uncle Tom and their father, Don, toured with their father's troupe, Monroe and Grant, until the mid-50s, performing on the Ed Sullivan and Milton Berle TV shows. But it was their appearance at a circus in Philadelphia when Don Lowe locked eyes with a pretty young aerialist named Caledonia, Callie for short.
She was young. After school, she literally left Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and answered an ad to join the circus.
We have a family joke. He was jumping on the trampoline and she was flying on the trapeze, and it was love at first flight. Yeah, they were very attractive, glamorous people, and so they had an amazing courtship time, and they were still traveling. It was very glamorous. She was in a little trailer. She had a pet tiger. And at night they would sew all sequins, and they would just make their own costumes, and really great life.
In 1950, Don and Callie settled permanently in Sutton and began raising a family. But they just happened to have a trapeze and trampoline in their backyard.
Always playing in the backyard in my mom's spangled bikini and hanging from the trapeze. That was my life as a child.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All four sisters are musically inclined, but Kathy Lowe Block is the only sister who made a career out of music. A talented folk singer and songwriter, Kathy left for Paris when she was just 17, recording a folk album while she was there. Today, Kathy writes and performs Christmas music, like this song the girls sang at their mother's funeral 2 years ago.
Deep in my heart, I feel that love. I believe a love will last forever. At a fairly young age, around 11, I think I might have written my first song. I was trying to, do folk music, and Susie and I would play in high school and local things.
So I grabbed a tulip, a big yellow tulip, and we grabbed a big red rose.
Kathy, Kim, and Susie still perform together locally under the name of the Lowe Profiles, singing songs made famous in the vaudeville and burlesque era.
So I said, girls, quit your stalling, 'cause the petals are falling from my tulip and our red rose.
The sisters have a lifetime of memories contained in these piles of pictures and photo albums. Their Uncle Tom writing and producing plays with the Bradford Players. He and the sisters' parents also created a performance group called the South Sutton Homesteaders, raising money for local interests.
So the Homesteaders had this group of very fine entertainers and decided that they would put on these productions to help raise funds to secure the ongoing health of the community meeting house, the South Sutton Meeting House.
Their parents and uncle now gone, the sisters have grown children, even grandchildren of their own, hoping to pass along the gifts of laughter and the love of music.
Hallelujah, deep in my heart.
It's in our blood. There's a passion about this that we can't get rid of. It's just something that we always do.
Hallelujah.